everyone, I'm Chris Erickley. Welcome to your Week 4 edition of the HS Game Time You PickEm Show. A couple barn burners last week. We'll see if Week 4 can live up to it. To my left, the man himself, the Glaze, Kyle Glazer. He's going trial by fire with his PickEm choices. He's kind of a...
Had some rocky ones.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten off to the best start, but I think now that we're beginning to see what each of these teams have to offer, I think, well, hopefully we'll have a better accuracy rate than I've had here the first few weeks.
I'm guessing by Week 8 he'll be going 15-0 every time.
Hopefully.
A guy who was almost 15-0 last week, a quick shout out to our Week 3 winner was Daryl Bloomer of Corona, 14 out of 15, and he was closest on the tiebreaker, which was last week's Vista Marietta Rev game. This week we begin, our first game is actually our tiebreaker game. It's King and Citrus Hill, two teams who are both undefeated. One team swapped for another team's quarterback. Right now, 93% Citrus Hill is rolling with Coach Eric Zomalt by an average score of 40-23. What do you think, Kyle?
You know, I think that's pretty much in line. I think Citrus Hill, you know, they've established themselves in one of the top programs in the area. King's undefeated, but you look at their schedule, they've been beating up on some River Valley League teams. There hasn't really been a win there that makes you say, oh, wow, this is a team that might be really, really capable of knocking off an elite team like Citrus Hill. I do expect the Hawks and Brett Hollingsworth to come out on the winning end of things on Friday night. I will be at that game covering it, and I expect it. You know, schools are 2 miles down the road. You mentioned the quarterback switch. There's going to be some intensity to that game for sure.
Now we move out to the southwest, Elsinore and Marietta Valley. Marietta Valley has been getting a lot of chatter. They've been looking very good. Early in the season, they did take a rough loss to Cucamonga, but Cucamonga has looked very strong. 77% taking Marietta Valley right now. Elsinore, though, no slouch.
No, Elsinore and Tony Peralta, they're always going to be ready to play, but I do think Marietta Valley is going to win this game. You know, I wouldn't sweat that loss to Rancho Cucamonga. Rancho Cucamonga arguably is the best team in the Inland Division outside of Centennial and Vista Marietta. I think Marietta Valley is going to get back on the winning track with a win this week. Elsinore's riding high over that 63-13 win over Temecula Valley, but once again, I do think the Nighthawks are going to take this one.
Keeping it out in the southwest, Paloma Valley and Temecula Valley. Paloma Valley, before last week against Moreno Valley, they had just absolutely been destroying teams. Temecula Valley looking good as well right now. 86% though taking Paloma Valley. They had a close one against Moval last week. I imagine this one will be too.
You know, it was a close one against Moval. I actually think that game will be closer when all is said and done than this one. I think Temecula Valley, they got off to a real nice start, but that loss last week was a pretty rough one. I think they might be coming back to earth a little bit. Paloma Valley, look, their schedule hasn't been particularly tough, but at the same time, this is still a really good team. They're well coached. I do expect Paloma Valley to win this one, you know, with some ease. Speaking
of the city of Moreno Valley, we've got Valley View and Rancho Verde. Rancho Verde has had a couple tough losses early this year. Does Valley View have enough firepower to take them out again?
You know, I don't think they do. Valley View, they've been very good. We talked about last week on the Blitz that they might be the most unappreciated team in the inland area. That said, Rancho Verde is a perennial power. They got back on the winning track with a huge win last week. I think the Mustangs are going to win this one and reassert themselves at the top of the Inland Valley League.
And finally, last but not least, the creme de la creme so far here of Inland Empire football. Vista Marietta, they hit the road to Cathedral Catholic in San Diego. The reason why we highlight this game is Cathedral Catholic actually had the closest regular season game with Vista Marietta last year. Vista Marietta, though, has looked like an absolute, you know, F-350 V12 500 horsepower truck. Can they be stopped at all?
You know, Cathedral Catholic's a very good team, about 10 minutes from my childhood home and just down the road from the high school I went to. It's a good team. It's a good program. Vista Marietta, I do think will win this game. I think the Broncos right now, they're just too good. They're too fast. They're too strong. They're too big. They're too everything. However, if Cathedral does find a way to beat the Broncos, I wouldn't call it a huge upset that no one saw coming. I think Cathedral is capable of it, but I do think Vista Marietta will win.
Kyle, you're sounding very confident. Are you calling a 15-0 week?
No.
Give us a prediction.
I'll give myself 12-3.
Strong. Very strong. All right, well, that does it for your Week 4 edition of the HS Game Time You PickEm Show. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you out there on Friday night.